For those unfamiliar with the infamous series, have never visited the city of Seattle, or are simply looking for a chance to see their PS4 firing on all cylinders, Infamous Second Son is here. 7 years removed from the events of the original duo of games, Second Son provides new characters, new setting, and a satisfying sheen to the game's presentation. Both Delsin and the Rainy City are ideal candidates for both the protagonist and his playground respectively, as their general disposition aligns perfectly with that of the Infamous brand. Seattle in particular is primed to host the Conduit antics and undertakings. The dynamic nature of the weather and its effect on the cityscape is easily manipulated to serve the mood of story scenarios, and just merely provide variety to the scenery. And that goal is well met, depending on a murky, rain-dumping overcast or a serene, sunny northwestern day. Seattle takes on the guise of a completely different metropolis. With all this meticulously rendered by the PS4's impressive hardware, the result is absolutely breathtaking. Enough so that even PS4 owners who aren't fans of the series should consider this one. And this is all before Delsin has the opportunity to breach the city with his particle-abundant, ostentatious conduit superpowers and the havoc they bring with them. Gameplay remains largely unchanged from prior titles. Players are encouraged to man a full frontal assault on the antagonistic DUP forces littered throughout the city. In fact, this is the only effective way in doing so, as aside from an ability to shroud himself in invisibility and secretly incapacitate enemies, Delsin lacks any sort of battlefield discretion. That always assures the game is fraught with ornate action and tense sequences, but the option to stage a stealthy attack would add some nice variety, if nothing more. The solitary means of conflict are actually indicative of the game as a whole. Although it tries to feign divergent moral paths, the red and blue options presented at critical story junctures are strictly monotone. Though Delsin's ethics do affect his arsenal of conduit capabilities and his attitude towards the citizens of Seattle and sparing DUP soldiers' lives, his alignment does little but alter dialogue during cutscenes. While the story informs the gameplay, in reality it should be the other way around, simply masking decisions with influence on the karma meter from the obvious red and blue alternatives with more ambiguous and less apparent options that could inhibit or bolster progression would demand attention, instead of allowing the player to get lost amongst the gregarious chatter of each cinematic. Infamous Second Son is by far one of the most visually impressive games to date. That, coupled with an expansive and lively world full of personality, chaotically entertaining combat, and a mostly decent story, also makes it one of the PS4's best games to date.